This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories, and welcome to my review of the first 3 episodes of The Boys Season 3. And just let you know, I'm not going to be doing a full Clone Wars video for tomorrow. It's just going to be the Year 1 Part 2 recap, because honestly, I do not have the time to record a video today for that, so I'm just putting that out. And yeah, with this, I'm going to warn you there is spoilers for The Boys Season 3. And I did watch it all last night and kind of slept in, so I do need to leave in like an hour to go do something, so I'm not going to have it be too long. But I really enjoyed these episodes. I think they did such a great job with it, and just looking at some of the stuff they did, and it's so interesting to see that they are going with so many crazy storylines. And again, I think I'm going to just look at this by story arcs, since I watched 3 episodes and they're all, kind of together, although I do remember a little better since I didn't go watch 7 episodes in a row like I did last week with Stranger Things. So it's going to be a lot easier to, go and differentiate which episode's which, since I didn't spend most of a day watching it. Yeah, with it, I think they did a really great job, and I think I'm just so excited to see what's going to happen with this season. And the first one I want to talk about is Homelander, and how he's about to have a mental breakdown because he's just getting so much stuff put onto him in this, and you could say how he's clearly losing it. And the character even acknowledging it, how he's basically wanting to be loved, but he says he doesn't mind being feared if he gets exposed for who he truly is. And with it, we have just such a great scene with him threatening Starlight, saying how he will go and destroy everything on Earth so everyone could fear him, including him destroying Washington, D.C., destroying the internet, and wiping New York and a few other towns off the map just to go and mess with everyone. And he wants everyone to fear him if he can't be loved. And we see just how crazy he is and how intense things are getting. And I really do love that. I cannot wait to see where we go with Homelander and just see how he's gonna have a mental breakdown and just go into a full-on supervillain. Looking at some of the characters, Starlight, who has her story built in with Homelander's, is promoted to be co-captain of the Seven, but things are getting really bad as Homelander wants to undermine her and basically threaten her and use stuff to make her feel less. And with it, after he goes and reveals his near true self, which is not he's a complete psychopath, but the fact that he doesn't want to be controlled by Vought and is a little more extreme is making him a lot more popular. Starlight is being forced to do some things that she doesn't want to be undercover, since they're trying to find a weapon to go and destroy Homelander. And with this, she is forced to be in a fake relationship with him, as this is going to help give cover, and she hates it, but she is doing it at least now for the right reasons to take him down, although this could spell pretty bad things in the relationship with Huey since he asked her to stay in, although he isn't making her, and it really is up to her, although she is partially being used by Huey, although she does know that this could serve to her greater good and to the defeat of Homelander. with a new member of the Seven being, well, the Deep returning and her old boyfriend, I believe it's Supersonic now, formerly Drummer Boy. We get to see that she now has an ally in the Seven besides just Maeve, and this is going to be interesting to see as the Seven have been seeming to be slowly turned against Homelander since he is acting far worse, and we basically already know that Starlight, Queen Maeve, and finally the newest member, Supersonic, are all going to be against him. Although I'm not percent sure what Supersonic will be doing, and he could turn out to be a bad person in working against them, but for now at least it seems like he is an ally. And looking at just a few other of the members, he has seemed to basically turn both A-Train and the Deep against him in this one, and they're only working for him out of fear right now, where A-Train can't really use his powers anymore. But also the Deep was forced to eat a squid that was his friend, and we learned that his new wife is also not really a good person and wants to be torturing him also. And all of this is just going to be really interesting to see. And when Homelander eventually does go and break, I wonder who will be working with him out of fear, and who will really just team up against him because they don't want to go and fight against them. And yeah, I think that's going to be really interesting to see. And I am really excited to see where it goes. Looking at the characters of the boys, we get to the storylines with all of the main ones. Kamiko is the smallest, where she just basically gets development saying that she doesn't want to be such a bad person in this, and looking at it, she feels horrible that she went and traumatized some children when her and Frenchie went to go confront the Crimson Countess, who went and murdered a person trying to kill them, blowing up in the middle of a Vought theme park, just going and traumatizing everyone. And looking at this, we get to see how she regrets not having a childhood and feels really bad, but also is really feeling a connection to music and other things, and does want to be able to speak, as we see her basically imagining her singing, but she does not, and I'm interested to see if that she will eventually be able to start talking in this, or if they're just gonna go and not have her talk. Looking at probably the next one in terms of their story, it is Mother's Milk, and with him, he goes and is basically trying to stay with a family and just raise his daughter and try to hold back from wanting to get revenge on the Supes and specifically against Soldier Boy, who is the cause of his family's death. And with it, although he does try to resist, he is eventually convinced by his ex-wife to go and rejoin Butcher so he can get closure on this, since he is just hurting himself, not doing anything, and just trying to take medication to keep all these impulses down. And then we have a little bit with Frenchie going and helping his friend from earlier in the show escape with a fake passport, since she went and angered a powerful crime lord, the Lenina, who is from the comics, and, well, not as little as she is in the comics. Is with that, she is a smaller person, and she does go and control crime, and she does have a pretty brutal end. But not talk about that in this because it's I don't want to spoil anything potentially, and with it, we get some more crazy things with this. Since when we're looking at it, there's just so much more great stuff going on with the main storylines, including Huey and Butcher. And with it, in the first episode, they're sort of on arc that is the opposite of each other. With it, Huey is wanting to be legit and slowly realizes that he has to go and become more dirty and act like Butcher. On the other hand, Butcher is realizing that to take care of Ryan and keep his promise, he has to go and become more legitimate. But with this, once Huey has discovered everything at the end of episode 1 about Newman and how she really is just a thought plant and is actually the adopted daughter of Stan Edgar. And with this, when he eventually tells Butcher this makes Butcher backslide and become who he used to be. And with this, we see as he goes and becomes way more extreme and is fully willing to go and take this new compound V24. And yeah, with that, it is really interesting to see this. Well, with Huey, he is just trying to go and act normal, but with this, he just really can't take it. And when they eventually do get to the point in episode 3 where they go and visit Mallory and learn really what has happened, and as they look at everything and just see how bad things are and how they could potentially take out Homelander with the weapon that they think has killed Soldier Boy. Although we do know from trailers that he is still alive. We also get a great callback to the comics where we see how superheroes in the military will not work, since we get a flashback to Mallory in a war in, I believe, Nigeria? I don't remember the country. I think it was that, but I'm not 100% sure. And with it, they are funding a resistance there, and with it, superheroes are sent, and they go and screw everything up, and most of them are killed. And this leads to actually Black Noir losing his voice and being pretty horribly scarred. And yeah, with this, it is really interesting to see, and we just get so much more development. And yeah, I really think that this is interesting. I really did enjoy that part of the story, and I'm so excited to see where they continue on that. And then one final, pretty minor part of the storyline, which is going to be more important going on later, is we're seeing a presidential election, and someone named Dakota Bob, who I think was in the earlier seasons, he is going and wanting to become president and is meeting with Edgar about the 24-hour V. And with that, we get a little few things in that, including that Compound V has become really bad in the eyes of the public after everything with Stormfront, and that Edgar wants to go and get rid of superheroes and just use this in the military since superheroes are pretty problematic with how much they think of themselves and want to be having fame and everything. And with this, he goes and says that in 5 years he wants to just be a company that does not deal with superheroes at all. And this is going to be interesting, and this looks like they're trying to set up the events in the end of the Boys comics. I'm going to talk about it here, but I have made a video, which I'll try to put up in the description as long as I remember. Yeah, with this, I'm so excited to see where they go with this, and I really just love this show. And I want to know what you think of it so far. Let me know in the comments. I'll see you on the next episode of Legends and Theories. Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, check out the video on screen, and may the Force be with you.